I just got back from a trip out to Maryland. I went to two shows back to back, one Saturday, one Sunday, and I got a ton of comics here. We're going to talk about it. Make sure you drop a like, drop a comment. Tell me what kind of videos you want to see hit the channel next. Fun stuff like that. Drop a subscription. It helps the algorithm. But we're going to jump right into it pretty quickly. So I went to the Maryland Toy Expo and on Saturday, and then following day, Sunday, was a clandestine show, Fred show. I always try to go to those. Set up. It's always a good show to hit out in Maryland, and so is the Maryland Toy Expo. And surprisingly, there's a decent amount of comics there. There's a handful of actual dealers like Marty and Fred and all those guys, Dustin. They were set up, and then there was a couple of guys who were toy guys who had comics, which I think is more the goal if you're going for comics, to go for those guys. Marty and Fred and Dustin, spend money with them. They're great guys. They got great deals. But if you're looking for, underpriced stuff, here it is. And I'm going to show you some of the highlights, and then I'll flip to briefly some of the other cool stuff. But this one guy, he had everything at his table was $2. $2. And I bought about 60 or 80 books. I can't remember. 60 or, it's either 60 or 80. It might be 80, 81 books. That sounds about right. And there was some highlights. Obviously, I'm holding this Champions 1. And we're ending off with another key, by the way. So, you might have saw the thumbnail. I don't know. But, you got this Champions 1. It's a really clean copy. I actually think it's cleaner than my last copy. $2. Okay. Why not? And then, some of the stuff you might say already has price tags on it. I already started processing some of this. But FF58, classic Doom cover, a 12-cent Fantastic Four comic for $2. Sure. Then we got two 30-cent variants. You never come across these in the wild. I mean, you do, but they're not easy. So I got two non-key 30-cent variants. The non-key aren't worth all that much, but they will sell. Then we got a Lady Death Killers issue signed by Brian Paluto. So that's, I think, maybe the only one of the very few modern books that I picked up there. But this is only 99 copies printed in this comic. And like I said, it's signed by Paluto. So that's kind of it's a thing. It exists. Thor 138. There's a couple of 12-cent Thors. I believe all of them I already had, but I picked them up because how do you go wrong with a 12-center, major Marvel character? Fantasy Masterpiece number 3. First reprint of the first appearance of Mephisto. Nice little alternate key pickup, in case you can't afford it or aren't looking at getting a 773, or you have a 773, you don't want to read it, grab that copy. It's a whole lot cheaper. Barbie 63 at the tail end of that Marvel run. What was it under? Was it under? Oh, it was under Marvel Comics. It's not Epic or nothing. Huh. But I didn't realize there was that many of these, to be honest with you. I didn't realize that run went that deep. So, and that's not in the last issue. I got one hip-hop cover. My buddy, who I went out to Maryland with, got a nice stack, and we got a 1 of 100 hip-hop, some nice, decent stuff. But I got one of these. I already have a couple of them, but Deadpool hip-hop's always sell. Black Panther number 1 is the Dora Milaje, nice little minor key, and a awesome House of Mystery cover. That one's pretty cool. That one's probably staying with me. King size Marvel Special, Marvel Superheroes number 1. This was a weird series, Marvel Superheroes, and it kind of got redefined a couple of times, but it's in pretty decent shape for a 60s Marvel comic. So that was the cream from that stuff. We're gonna go by chunks of stuff I bought. So there's other good stuff, but we'll run through. There's still good stuff here. A lot of non-keys, but still very sellable books. Or nice books for, my runs or whatever reason I might have to have picked them up. Great Manhunter issue. Those are worth keeping an eye out for, those 2 issues. Sectar's number 1. That's always good. A 15-cent Thor issue. I keep on getting these Doom covers. I have a ton of them. I don't know why. Frankenstein number 18. I already had that one, but we got first Tombstone. Web with the 36? Yeah, 36. First Tombstone, nice little minor key there. Hulk 377. Some cool Universal Studios magazine, and had some cool shots from the Conan experience they did there. And they had, why I bought it is they had the Jaws section, but also, if I can find it, Conan, I can't find it. There's some King Kong stuff in here that I picked it up for, because that's cool. Godzilla Rulers of Earth, Volume 4 trade paperback. I have almost all the Godzilla books ever printed. Almost. I'm still tracking down some variants and stuff and some trades and all that. But I have pretty much almost everything. I need some ratios here and there. Weird Wonder Tales, number 1. I think number 2 is in here somewheres. But again, for $2. Superman 247. I've always loved this cover. Superman and the Guardians. Just kind of cool. Dead of Night, number 6. Pretty cool book. King Size Thor Special, number 2. I've almost picked this up in the past. And I've always like, you know what, I'm just gonna wait. It's not anything. There's no value to it really. You know, I always say for like $10, $15, and for $2, sure, I'll put it in my Thor run. Marvel Team Up 128. I just love this book. I always pick it up when I see it. I just love the old photo covers. Shauna, the She-Devil, number 4. First Man Drill. There's number 3 that was really sharp, but I passed it along my buddy Fred. But that one's pretty sharp. And there's the Weird Wonder Tales, number 2. Awesome cover there. That's that stack. And then there's another stack. Here we got Thor 372, one of those TVA keys. Great Justice League issue. I always love those like bordered covers. Late Beavis and Butthead newsstand. Which issue is 28? I thought it was 26. Final issue, actually. So that's not too shabby. Godzilla King of the Monsters, number 10. So, like I said, I got a stack of Godzillas that I needed. Some of them are variants, some of them are A covers. I think I had all these just in different covers, so it was nice to track down some ones that I needed. You know, the Godzilla and Star Wars is really what got me into comics, so always kind of fall back on Godzilla stuff. Web of Spider-Man, number 70, the old Spider Hulk issue. Pretty clean copy. Giant Size, Doctor Strange, number 1. Can't roll any giant size, really. Amazing Adventures, number 8 and number 6. None of the keys from that run, but can't go wrong with that. Marvel Team Up, number 8. Again, really clean copy. These books were in pretty nice shape. Amazing Adventures, 18. First Killraven. Excuse me. Cool little character that I wish they would do more with. Hulk 265. First Rangers. Again, that's the thing that guys have been specking on as of, you know, semi-recently. Creature Unleashed 32, 35, and 37. I love this, like, Man-Wolf, Creature Unleashed era. Great artwork. I believe a lot of Perez stuff in here, if I'm not mistaken. And he's fighting, like, Kraven the Hunter, and you can't go wrong with that. And then there's a nice stack of Hulks. Again, Fred from Clandestine actually got a nice stack of them himself, some of the earlier ones. But I got, the other ones. 183, 197, 189. You cannot go wrong with 25 cent and prior Hulks. 188, 187. There was no 180, 181, of course. 185, 184, and that's kind of where it stops in that 180 range. We get down to 178. That classic rebirth of, or death of Warlock, excuse me. And then it comes back later. And then there's a chunk of 2 Draculas in there. I always just pick up 2 Draculas when I see them cheap. 1 or 2 of these were a little munged up. But for the most part, they were all pretty sharp. I've always loved that issue. Actually, I have that up there. You can't see it. It's cut off. But we got issue 16 and as early as issue 7. That one's also a classic cover. But issue 7 was the earliest in there. And there's a 28 as well. Nice little Blade issue. Early Blade, actually. It's what, 3rd or 4th Blade? So what, 25 or 26 is his second? Maybe I don't remember them all. I don't know. Okay, Ron Blade. And then another chunk of Hulks. 166, 158, 159. So, that's an awesome one. Can't go wrong with that era of Hulk. The other TVA Thor issue. There is another Death of Warlock issue. Rebirth of Warlock. Whatever you want to do. Hulk 176, 172. The awesome By Beast issues is a great read. MODOK and the Giant stopping android robot, and 179. So that was, I believe, all of the 81 books I got off of that one dealer. So that was pretty solid. I think I might set up at that shop. Oh, you know what? There's also a Spider-Man calling book that I get my buddy of mine. And he also had these in there. I only grabbed 4 and he had a big stack of them. But there's these, like, multi-packs. I should just grab them all, because why not? Because they're kind of cool. But this was, like, a 7-issue Punisher Requiem set. 4 issues of the X-Men. And you know what the funny thing about this is? Like, oh, okay, not this one. There was one I was looking at where they were all dollar cover price books, and it was $5.75. So it's more expensive to buy the pack. It's not like a bundle. Here, I guess it's a bundle, but you know, let's go ahead. The New Mutants 100 on there, X-Force 1, and then a ASM. I believe they all list they list the books in them. So there's no keys in any of these. Quasar 25, ASM 130, X-Force 1. I guess there's only 3 in this one. Yeah, see, that's where, like, that's not really a... I don't know. I don't know. And then we've got X-Men number 1. There's 1 through 3, actually. Of course, it'd have been cool if it was 1 through 4. That'd have been, neat. But whatever. No big deal. They were kind of neat. Picked them up. And then there was another dealer there who had just these short boxes underneath his table. And he had, like, toys on his table and stuff. And, he let us pull it out. And he was like, there's no price and stuff. Just pull stuff. The buddy I was there with actually got a nice stack of spawns off him. And he got something else off him. Off the first $2 set, he got a gold X-Men with the hologram, with the gold version. So that was stellar. I think he got something else off of it. Oh, he got hip hops off of this guy. That's what that was. But I got a couple cool random variants, some Jack Kirby stuff. From when they did the like Kirby is King month or whatever they did. Some cool stuff like that. Starboy number 1, that's always worth picking up when you see it. Super cheap. Again, all this stuff, everything I picked up was $2 or less. A Sonic Knuckles issue. I always grab the Archie Sonics because there's a demand for them. Goom. Can't go wrong with Goom. Just kind of cool. This Black Cat cover, I cannot believe is not worth more than it is, but I always pick it up when I see it cheap because it'll still sell. But these haunts are tough. They're not easy to find. And then I got Kong Skull Island because when I was getting this book, my orders got like allocated month after month after month. So I didn't get all the issues. So I'm still been trying to track them down because they're not easy for whatever reason. And online, some of them go for some money. Pup Masters Curtain Call number 1 variant edition. Always grab the Pup Master stuff. Kong on Planet of the Apes number 4. This is another one where like, I don't know, my store couldn't get them. I don't know why. John Wick number 1, first read the John Wick in comics. It's not really worth much anymore, but that was the thing over COVID. And then I got a stack of SpongeBob comics. These are always good. I actually texted a buddy of mine, Patriot Comics, if you wanted them, and he did. So, picked those up. But they're always worth grabbing. You see them cheap because low print runs. That number 1's expensive again. That book really, really popped. And then another guy, again, had 2 short boxes, one on each side of his table. And they were $2 books. And then I think he did a bundle. So I got a couple of like Venom store exclusive variants because I took a chance on them for like $1.50 or whatever. Star Wars Tales 14, that Apocalypse Now, Endor Now, homage poster. The Blade mini comic comes with the DVD. Those are always kind of cool. Thor 196, needed that for my run. Scorpion King number 2, picked that up. He's why not. Samurai Jack number 1 newsstand. So that's for Samurai Jack. That's a cool little book. A retailer incentive to G.I. Joe, and Thor 211. So that rounds out the first show. Now, in between the 2 shows, we stopped at a local comic store. I'm not going to put their name in here because I want to tell a story about something that happened really quick. And I don't want it to seem slanderous against the store because I understand sometimes stuff gets misconstrued and just stuff happens. I have no ill will towards the store. But I'd go in there. I'd never been to the store before, but I had known the owner from doing shows in the area. And, I walked in, and it was really didn't seem like anything I was going to pick up until I discovered there's these, like, wooden drawers, and you pull them out, and it's just, like, unbagged boarded and bagged boarded books. It was like a mix of, like, seemingly unprocessed stuff. So right away, I'm like, oh, what's the deal with these drawers? I asked the owner. And he's like, oh, that's all, stuff that kind of got thrown in. He's like, for you, $1, $2 at the max is what he said. All the drawers, he said yes, right? And again, I'm using his words, $2 at the max. So I pulled out a stack of books like this, right? I don't know, 54 books, I think it was, something like, yeah, it was 54 books. I put my stack aside, and they're like, oh, by the way, there's a dollar room. We'll take you to it. So we go up to the dollar room, and I found some stuff, not a whole lot. Honestly, It was pretty picked over. And again, I'm not trying to slander the store at all. Not a little bit. I'm just saying what happened. I came back down, and my stack was, like, broken up on the counter. I'm like, oh, no. And it wasn't the owner. It was another guy that works for him. Was like, hey, I heard him tell you $1 to $2. He's like, I can't do that. He's like, there's too much good stuff in there. And I'm not going to lie. I found some good stuff. Not everything I bought. I didn't find any keys or nothing crazy. But there was, like, a clean copy of, like, Amazing Adventures, the Beast stuff and, stuff like that. But nothing super crazy. Maybe some $25 books. But there's, 5s and 10s and regular stuff that you try to buy at a dollar bin, but even, like, at $2, I was like, sure. For max of $108, I'll take them all. No problem. And then that $108 turned into, $275 or something like that. And I was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to walk away. I'm just going to walk away from it. That was the best thing to do there. Actually, I did pull out 2 or 3 books, and I was like, can I buy these? And he felt real weird about that, but he let me do it. I mean, sorry, the box and everything got stuck. I don't know. It was a weird experience. It's a shame because I know the owner wouldn't have pulled that, but no big deal. Not the end of the world. I'm not crying about it, but I'll tell the story because it is what happened. I'm by no means trying to slander anybody, but it's what happened. So I was a little bit, not annoyed about these. It kind of is what it is. At the end of the day, it's all just paper and plastic. But I did find some cool stuff. Found this upstairs. Cool Flying Saucers issue. Why not? Always pick up the NQ's X-Men Classics because I just love these covers and they're so underloved. Like that is a gorgeous X-Men cover. So underloved. I finally got the US Part 1 so I can actually read this. So I have Part 2. I tried to read Part 2 and then I realized I don't have Part 1. Frank shows Liberty Meadows, number 2, second print. Shows a stack of those. I only grabbed 2 of them. I grabbed that and I grabbed the Wedding album because they're a couple of bucks. I got this because I collect those weird like mailers. Something neat. First, Amethyst. This is a cool book. Always pick up when I find it for $1 and it's clean looking. Giant Killers number 1. This was a cool DC title that goes a little bit underloved. Ultraman Tiger number 4. This is an upgrade from my copy. I think it has a sticker on it. This is super clean. These are surprisingly not easy to find. That Dark Horse Ultraman stuff. Not easy. The Haunt number 9. Always pick up the Haunt stuff when you see it cheap. And then these 3 books I pulled out. These 3 books are what I pulled out of that stack. And you're going to be like, why'd you even pull those? I didn't pull anything that good. I pulled the Child's Play 2, issue 2. Because they couldn't make anything for the first movie, so they made it for the second. $15 is what that's worth. There's another mailer. Why Last Man, final issue. I just pulled this because it's tough. $5-10 at the most. Not really worth much. Still, I'm all in for buying them. I don't know. I don't know what he charged me. I don't even remember. I don't know. And then a Twig number 1 signed by Scotty Young, which is probably the best thing in that stack, I guess. But again, what is that at most? $20-25 value-wise? Nothing too crazy. And then a stack of Blood of Draculas that I needed for my run as I'm almost done. I'm a couple of late issues away. And then I have all of the Apple Comics Blood of Dracula stuff. So there's some cool backups in there. Some Reiston stuff. Some Frankenstein stuff. And then I grabbed another Apple Comics, The Bat. Because why not? And the Crystal Warrior number 1. Because I always pick up that kind of stuff. So, and I got 2 magazines. Darkman number 1, that was upstairs in their room. Magazine. Can't go wrong with Sam Raimi. And Captain Sherlock. Because why not for $1? Call mine. So, that was so-so. We regrouped, we did the show the following day. Show was great, sold great, and I only bought 2 books. Friends always shows always got good buy. I only got 2 books. I got 1 book for $5 off of I'm blanking on their names now, but they always have boxes of $5 books in these nice like Mylars. And I found another Rules of Earth issue I needed. Nice retailer incentive cover. This is a 1 in 10, so I needed that for my run. And then, as I'm sure you've been waiting for this whole time, I picked up one of my grails, House Secrets 92. It is a pretty gorgeous copy. It's kind of hard to tell with the glare, but it's a gorgeous copy. It's beautiful. It could use a press. There is, I don't know if you can really see it, but there's a crease right there. That is color breaking, but it's not that bad. The colors really do pop on this copy. There's some spine ticks. There's somewhere that's going to be there. It's no 9.8. But for a book of its era and of its age and of such a dark cover, it's in gorgeous condition. I got a pretty good deal on it. And I knocked off a big book on my hunt list. This was definitely been a book I've been looking for a long, this is one of my main keys that I've been hunting. And it's pretty much at the top of my list. This is going right there next to some other gorgeous books. What more can I say? You know what it is. It's Series 92. Now I need to finish out my Swamp Thing run, at least the Wrightston stuff. To play, the goal is to have a clean Series 92, which I do, and then a clean 1 to 10 Wrightston Swamp Thing set to put with it. So maybe I'll transform that first row up there just for a little bit, make it all Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing to me is one of DC's coolest characters. He's had many eras that are there's no bad era of Swamp Thing. He's had many eras that are very different from each other, but I've always liked that DC's magic. I think DC's always had a very strong horror and magic side with, Swamp Thing, which branches out into Constantine, and you got Deadman. You got a lot of Neil Adams and Bernie Wrightston artworks throughout all of that. You've got Demon the Etrigan with Jack Kirby. There's a lot of stuff going on there. And Justice League Dark is probably the best thing to come out of New 52, is to finally get that team like an official, name and lineup. Because they've had like Justice League Dark type teams. There's 3 different occurrences, 2 Swamp Thing issues, and a Blue Devil issue have basically what is pretty much a Justice League Dark, but and cool different lineups too. You've got Man-Bat in there. You've got all kinds of cool stuff, and all kinds of cool stuff. And later on, you got the actual run. We got Pandora and other fun stuff in the stories. Detective Chimp. I really like that James Tynion line that he did. But it all goes back to DC's got a very strong like horror and magic base. And I don't know if you've seen my past videos and seen my past pickups. You know that I hunt a lot of stuff. I have a Strange 205 First Deadman. I have a Demon #1, a First Etrigan, and this is, I've both of Constantine's first appearances. I have, Spectre issues. I don't have First Spectre. I would love that First Spectre, First Phantom Stranger. There's obviously other books I'm hunting for, but this is one of the big ones. So, overall, great success that lands us in pretty good shape. And if you want to see the toy pickup, I didn't buy a lot of toys, but I'll end off here with a couple of toy pickups and then we'll wrap up the video. But believe it or not, most of the toys were or a chunk of the toys were comic related, because a guy had DC figures and they were half off, so they ended up being like $5 a piece, and they're all DC Direct. So I haven't had a chance to open them up yet, but a Gorilla Grodd. I'm working on my JSA set, so there's a Jay Garrick. Super clean, classic Sinestro, and he's got his weapon down there. Yeah, these guys were all like $5. Poison Ivy from that Justice line. I believe this is Kingdom Come's Spectre. And then, of course, classic Green Lantern and complete Jonah Hex with both his pistols and his hat. So, some cool stuff. Something to change up the parameter up there, add some new figures. I grabbed an Ultraman figure. Can't go wrong with it. It was 83 release, right? Yep, 83 Bandai release for $10. Can't go wrong with that. A couple of Tortured Souls, which I'm a Clive Barker fan, and I'm a big Todd McFarlane fan, so this is like a meeting of minds. And these guys, I always pick these guys up, and they go perfect with my Hellraiser display. As I throw stuff at you. Work perfect with my Hellraiser display. And to round that out, the last 2 pickups, which I think are the best 2. Best 2 toy-wise, that is this Microman playset that I haven't had the chance to put together, but it actually transforms into like a PlayStation, which is kind of cool. I'm a big Microman fan, and so sometimes when I see cool Microman stuff, I pick it up. I don't always get the Microman stuff, but if it's cool enough and it still fits my vibe, I'll pick it up. And to round out the video with a banger, second to only House of Series 92. original Return of the Jedi Ewok balloons. A sealed pack. Look at that. Can't be mad at that. It's cool nonsense stuff I like picking up. Greeting card company made this. I like picking up the nonsense stuff like that because it's the cool odds and ends that make collecting fun. So I'll probably put it on the wall over there, I don't know yet. But I'm not going to open it. I'm going to leave it sealed. That's pretty cool. But I hope you enjoyed. Let me know down below what's your favorite book I picked up. Any of these books that you have yourself. And, hopefully I will see you this following weekend, Father's Day. I will be set up at the Mocha Hill Toy Show. So come through, show some support, buy some stuff. It's a big show. They got a lot of dealers. Got multiple pavilions full of dealers. That's always a good show. Always worth showing up at. And I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, peace.